And this entire situation that we're living through now in 2020 is really a cyclical reproduction of a 500-year and a 750-year cycle. So, in short, we're moving all these cycles into a reset of the clock by the end of 2020. And then we move in 2021 into a much more connected open time, because both Jupiter and Saturn will wander into Aquarius together. And that's where I expect we should find useful, connected, new networks and technological solutions for new communications, other ways to build, say, a new internet. All these subjects are now in process and will come to pass, I would think, by 2021 to 25.
Nordic asset. We're discussing profound subjects going from Krishnamurti to Kubrick, cooperation with NASA. You remember that Krishnamurti saw one of the Roswell aliens. The military-industrial complex invited him to assess that alien. We discussed Dr. Bell, Colonel Corso, John Lear. We've gone through the subjects of extraterrestrial cooperation with mankind and the problems it entails. We've discussed the astrology, at least into 2050, 45, a generation from now, the opposition, Uranus, Pluto, and everything that we expect this society now to do over the next 2 to 3 generations. Nordic asset sums up both the astrology, the alien world, and the subjects we discussed with Krishnamurti. Jiddu Krishnamurti wrote in his famous notebook, this is the full text edition, by the way, with the additional pages. He wrote in September 1961, while he was in Rome visiting friends, about meditation. And he said, I quote, "Meditation is the flowering of understanding. Understanding is not within the borders of time. Time never brings understanding. Understanding is not a gradual process to be gathered little by little with care and patience. Understanding is now or never. It is a destructive flash, not a tame affair. It is this shattering that one is afraid of, and so one avoids it, knowingly or unknowingly. Understanding may alter the course of one's life, the way of thought and action. It may be pleasant or not, but understanding is a danger to all relationship. But without understanding, sorrow will continue. Sorrow ends only through self-knowing, the awareness of every thought and feeling, every movement of conscious and that which is hidden. Meditation is the understanding of consciousness, the hidden and the open, and of the movement that lies beyond all thought and feeling. So, how do we go from Kubrick and the Space Monkeys to Krishnamurti? Kubrick's Space Odyssey, one could say, was kind of the cover for the whole NASA operation and the Apollo missions. There are photos that put Arthur C. Clarke, Stanley Kubrick, together with 4 people from NASA in some place. So it is established they had a very deep ongoing cooperation between them, and that lasted over about 64 to 69, those 5 years. What did he really tell us in 2001 Space Odyssey? I saw it as a 10-year-old when it came out many times. He really was telling us about reincarnation in 1969. Space visits the monkeys, and then humans eventually visit space. And the Nordics are saying that all these human wars that we have had here on Earth forever and that are going on are really the result, the extension and part of the extraterrestrial conflicts. which are similar wars about trade routes, the Galactic Federation and the other groups' control of the planets, Earth, one of them, its assets, resources, land masses and people. And Krishnamurti told them at the United Nations in 1984 when they asked him about peace on Earth, so that's almost 40 years ago, he said, if you continue on this path, that's what you're going to do, continue wars. So we're now in 2019 soon, with Jupiter going into Sagittarius. And this is the international year. This is where we're going to discuss a lot of international world affairs, new treaties, etc. And Sergei Lavrov, the foreign affairs chief of Russia, said something stunning at the United Nations. He's like the dean of diplomacy. He said, you all need to learn how to balance your interests. And so to come back to both Kubrick and Krishnamurti, what is it actually about that we're trying to cover up for the last, say, 60, 70 years? The cover-up is about the technology of time travel, really the existence of time travel. And the cover-up is about that paranormal reality exists. And the question is, this is a question we can think about, why are we not supposed to know time travel and paranormal realities exist? Why is that?